Again, I just wanted to thank you all for being here. It means the world to me that you would give your time. I know it is one of the most precious resources. So thank you for being here. As many of you know, I started my business over 15 years ago as a single mom with 5 very young kids. But I remember the exact moment where I felt like an absolute failure. I hadn't been in business very long, and I'm at Safeway with my kids in that crazy time between like when school's getting out and we have to make dinner and I have to pick up a few things. I'm grabbing a few things, putting them in the cart. And my son says to me, "We need ketchup." So kids and I go over to the condiment aisle. I grab the ketchup and put it in the cart. And then another one of my kiddos says, "We need ranch dressing too." And in that moment, I started to cry. You see, they weren't asking for anything crazy. It was just as in so many times before, I had been adding up the dollars and cents of everything I was putting in that cart. And I knew that I could not afford the ketchup and the ranch dressing. And I felt like the biggest failure. And you see, I wasn't just failing me, I was failing my kids. I was all they had. I was the only thing that they could rely on. And I just simply wasn't cutting it. I wasn't enough. In that moment, I questioned if I was doing the right thing, questioned why I was starting a business. But in that moment, I also made the decision that I was going to do whatever it took to make it work. And I'll be honest, there are more nights than I would like to admit after that I laid awake crying, wondering if it was all going to work out, wondering if I had made the right choice. But slowly and surely, sales were coming in, momentum was gaining, and things were turning around. Eventually, I met someone else, got married, and unfortunately, 3 short years later, he unexpectedly passed away. I once again found myself as a single mom with 5 kids having to do it all. Now, fast forward to 2019, and I'm at the high school state wrestling tournament. I'm sitting there watching my son on the mat in his senior year. Kids and I are sitting on these stands, and tears came to my eyes again for 2 reasons. One, I felt incredibly helpless. You see, he deserved that medal. He had put in the work, the early morning workouts, the extra practices, the every single day. But there was nothing I could do to make it happen for him. All I could do was sit there and watch. But the other reason was I realized I had made it. This was what it was all about. And to be honest, that year wasn't the best year in my business. I had a lot of sales, but it wasn't our highest revenue year. But it was in that moment I realized I was doing what I had set out to do. I was making money, I was providing for my kids, and I got to be there for them. I got to see everything that they were doing and be their supporter. Shortly after that is when I wrote Unapologetically Me. I wanted to help other moms figure out how to have a business while being a mom. You see, anyone who chooses to start a business, in my opinion, is a rock star. Whether you've been in business a day or more than a decade, whether you haven't made a dollar yet or you're making $1 million a year, because you are making a choice to do something that most people never will. And as we take a look at what it means to finish strong and what you need to do in 2025 to have your best year in business, I want you to understand, even if this year hasn't gone right, or even if the last couple years haven't gone right, it's okay to have false starts. You see, if you step up to a track and field race and you step up to the line, if you go before the gun goes off, it's just simply called a false start. It does not mean you can't win the race. It just means you have to start again. Understand it's okay to have false starts as long as you start again. I'm going to share with you the top 10 things that we need to do to be successful in 2025 and beyond if you really want to grow your business. Okay, and if okay, number one is control. You see, we need to understand that what we can control and what we can't. Oftentimes, we try to control things that aren't within our control. Life is about 10% of what happens to us and 90% how you react. If you put an egg, a potato, and a coffee bean in a pot of boiling water, they all have very different reactions. The egg gets hard. The potato gets soft. But the coffee bean transforms its environment. The coffee bean chooses to take this negative environment and make it into something better. You see, all three things were put into the exact same negative environment, but made different choices. So I'm asking you, when you're put into challenging situations, will you choose to be the coffee bean? I hate the saying, bloom where you're planted, because the reality is, I don't want you to bloom where you're planted. I want you to grow through what you go through. When we say bloom where you're planted, it makes it seem like we do not have any control. We can't do anything. But the reality is, you always have a choice. Our lives are the sum of our choices. And choice comes down to number 2. I'm asking you to make no excuses and take radical accountability. You see, everything you do is actually a choice. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice, but it's a choice. If I don't go to work because I'm staying home with a sick child, that isn't an excuse. I chose to stay home and not go to work. Again, it doesn't mean it's wrong, but understand it's a choice. In everything you do, you are making a choice. And when you quit making excuses, quit saying this happened or this happened, and take radical accountability for your choices, that's when our business and our lives start to transform. And the reality is, what are you choosing when things get hard? It's easy to choose to do the things that we know are going to grow our business and do all these things when life is easy. But what are you choosing when things get hard? Number 3, I want you to decide what you want. What is your purpose? Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich says there's one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definitiveness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. If you don't know what you want, you will never get it. I ask you to say this statement out loud that seems impossible. I'm on a mission to help 1 million moms make money online. That's a big number. But I understand that that is my purpose. And purpose is what keeps us going when the motivation fails. You see, our motivation, we might get up because we have to pay rent or we have to feed our kids or other things we have to do. Those things, our kids and our families motivate us. But when you understand you have a bigger purpose, when you understand the impact you want to have, whether through your business or income from your business lets you have an impact outside of your business in your community or your life. And maybe that's just simply being with your family and not being outside of the home as much. But when you understand that purpose, it drives you through when motivation seems lacking. Number 4, I need you to understand that work-life balance does not exist. Now, I get a lot of pushback on this, but what I need you to understand is balance is not a destination. When we talk about this, it's like it's a place that can be reached. But this work-life balance is not a destination. It is not a place that can be reached. So what do we do instead? We decide what we want in business and what we want in life, and we have to pursue those relentlessly, letting everything else go. You see, when I started my business, I said I had 2 things that I wanted to do. 1, I had to be able to support my kids. And 2, I had decided I was never going to miss anything. Again, I was all they had. I did not want them to ever be in a sporting event or a play or anything else they were involved in and not have someone cheering for them from the sidelines, from the stands, from wherever we were. I wanted them to know they were always going to have someone there for them. But that meant that sometimes I was up working at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because we had driven 6 hours to a football game and I couldn't get it done before. I had to get it done after. You see, you have to choose what you want in business and in life and not let it be an excuse, either one be an excuse to not accomplish it. You have to pursue each relentlessly. And then you need to let everything else go. Let what people think go. Let the other things that you need to do go. But pursue what you want relentlessly, your business goals and your life goals. Number 5, you need to stop the comparison trap. Comparison truly is the thief of joy. And the reality is, oftentimes we see people on social media and we're comparing ourselves to them. First, social media is just a highlight reel. It's not everything that's going on in someone's lives. And second, they may be in their season of winning now, but you don't know what they went through in their season of losing to get there. And I say you might not be willing to go through what they went through in their season of losing to get there. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. The reality is it does not matter what anyone else thinks. You are choosing to do something many won't. As Theodore Roosevelt said, the credit belongs to the man in the arena. What he meant was the man in the arena who's actually fighting it out. You're getting dirt on your face. You're getting bloodied. You're the one actually building the business. People looking on, it doesn't matter what they think. They're not the ones doing it. They don't get to judge. And no one really is judging you as much as yourself. It's often been said you wouldn't care as much about what people think of you if you realized how little they actually do. The judgment we're putting on ourselves is often significantly more than the judgment actually coming from other people. Number 6, extend the time horizon of your expectations. Success does not happen overnight. And in this world of immediate gratification and social media and people just saying, hey, make $10,000 a month from your phone in less than 2 hours a day, we think that that is what business actually looks like. The reality is success does not happen overnight. And if it was that easy, if you could just do that, everyone would do it. We need to take a look at how long it will take us and be okay with the fact that it's going to take longer than what we want. I was fascinated in this last Olympics by Ilona Maher and Simone Biles. Ilona Maher is a U.S. rugby athlete and Simone Biles, obviously a U.S. gymnastics. Both made a splash on social media and all that during the Olympics. but so accomplished in their careers. They are literally waiting 4 years. They're showing up to the gym every single day, working harder than we could probably ever imagine, doing things that only the elite of the elite will actually do. And they won't even know if it'll pay off for 4 years. They can't even go to the Olympics again and try again for 4 years. Are you willing to put in the work even though you don't see the immediate benefit? Usain Bolt, who is a world record 8-time gold medal 100-meter sprinter, said, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds. And people give up when they don't see results in 2 months. Can you imagine training 4 years to run 9 seconds? You're going to have to keep going even if you don't see results. But the work you put in now will pay off. You just may not see the results immediately. And I ask you to keep going even when you don't see the immediate results. Number 7 is celebrate everything. Small wins are still wins, and failures are learning experiences. The reality is the only real failure is something you don't learn from. I was out on a hike with my daughter a few years ago, and it was a rather difficult hike. I hike a lot, but this one was a really difficult hike. And we're about halfway up, and I'm looking up at the peak, and I realize we're still got a long ways to go. And I was tired. And you're sitting there thinking about it, and in that moment, I turned around and realized how far we had already come. You see, in hiking, in business, and in life, we need to enjoy the scenery on the way. We need to be realizing that, yes, we've come a long way. We may not be to the peak yet, but that peak may be harder to get to than we thought it might be. But are you willing to put in all the extra work to get to the peak to see the view that not everybody gets to see? But I ask you to celebrate and enjoy the scenery along the way. When we're celebrating to reach our goals, we need to evaluate. And I ask you to do this on everything you've done in 2024. Evaluate our goals. Celebrate what we've done and what we've accomplished. And then reset our goals. Where did we fall short? Where did we exceed? Let's reset our goals for 2025 and refocus on what it's going to take to accomplish them, and then create an action plan. Number 8, you need to stop looking for the easy button. Understand that simple and easy are not the same thing. I'm a huge advocate for simplifying a business. But the reality is you are spending so much time trying to find the shortcuts and the hacks that you're not actually gaining the momentum that you need. You're gonna have to put in the work and learn the things that you need to learn in order to have the success that you want to have. The more you look for the shortcuts and the hacks and trying to find ways to make it easy, the longer it will take for you to have success. Shortcuts and hacks do not work. Learning and putting in the work does. Number 9, fix the biggest problem first. If your bucket is leaking, adding more water is not the solution. But the reality is, oftentimes we want to fix the problem that we know how to fix or want to fix. But you need to identify the biggest problem first. Edward Deming says, your system is very well designed to get you the results you are getting. In other words, the results you're getting is based on what you are actually doing. The number of times I see somebody that is tweaking a website or a landing page or something like that, they're changing the colors or changing the fonts or researching, and they haven't yet gotten anybody to look at their offer, they have no traffic, it's amazing to me. The bigger problem is if nobody's looking at your offer. You have to fix that first. I promise you, once you fix that problem, the next big problem will arise. But the reality is oftentimes we want to fix the problem. Either we enjoy fixing or we think we know how to fix. But I want you to tackle the biggest problem in your business first and focus on nothing but that until it is fixed. You need to stop wasting time on other things that aren't going to get you the biggest result. And number 10, I want you to focus on inputs versus outputs. This goes back again to what you can control. I can't always control what happens after I post something on social media. I can't control if I'm going to get likes or shares, but I can control the number of times I post. I can control if I post consistently. I want you to focus on the things you are doing and putting into your business versus just what you are getting out of it. And I want you to focus on income producing activities. Do the things that actually makes you money. This goes back to similar to fixing your biggest problem. Oftentimes, we are spending a lot of time doing the things that aren't actual income producing activities. They aren't the stuff that is actually going to get us sales. So I want you to focus on the income producing activities. And what I want you to understand is the more you increase your reps, the faster you will learn. The only time we look at the outputs is to learn from them. Let's take social media. If I post 10 times and one does better, I can learn from that output. I can learn what type of content my audience likes to see. The more reps you put in, the faster you will learn. If you only post once a day, and someone else posts 3 times a day, that person is going to learn 3 times faster. And at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself, did I give it my all? Did I do everything I could? As I say, I want to end the day with 0, with nothing left in the tank. I did everything I could to grow my business, to help my clients, and do what I needed to do. And if I can honestly say I ended my day with 0, then I'm happy. So let's recap real quick. First, you need to focus on what you can control. Second, you need to understand that everything is a choice and you are making the choice. Take radical accountability. Third, decide what you want. What is your purpose? What is that big goal that you have out there? And say it out loud. 4, there's no such thing as work-life balance. I want you to know what you want in your work and what you want in your life and pursue both relentlessly without letting either become an excuse. 5, stop the comparison trap. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, am I getting better every day? That is the only comparison that you should be comparing to. 6, extend the time horizon of your expectations. If you can delay gratification a little bit and keep working even though you're not seeing the immediate results, you will have success. 7, celebrate everything. 8, stop looking for the easy button. You're gonna have to do the hard stuff. You're gonna have to put in the work that no one likes to do. And that's okay. And number 9, fix the biggest problem first. Figure out the biggest problem and fix that first. And 10, continually focus on the inputs. What are you putting into your business? What are you doing each day versus the outputs? Now, what about that wrestling medal? I'm happy to say that he got the medal. And it's in that moment that I realized when you have kids and you're busy recording all these firsts, your first steps, first words, first tooth, first day of school, nobody tells you how quickly those firsts become less. the last wrestling tournament, the last football game, the last time you get to pick a kid up at school or drop them off in the morning, the last dance, the last day of school. I am so passionate about this because I truly believe that the life you love is fueled by the business you build. And I want to help you build that business. I want to help you get everything you want in your life. Now, as I look at my business as it stands today, going into 2025, I'm fortunate to still be able to work as a marketing agency, but it is the number one reason why I've transitioned as well to helping others learn about marketing and learn about sales so you can grow your business. I want to tell you one last story. I had first started playing hockey, and I was playing with a team of women that were significantly better than me. I had never played before, and they had been playing for years. I still was trying to figure out how to make sure I could stand up on my ice skates, because it turns out ice skating is pretty important to ice hockey. And I'm in the locker room, and here, the person that she called herself our coach, basically going off and telling us exactly what we need to do, exactly what we were doing wrong. And she's like, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually don't understand anything you just said." And she seemed very angry with me. And we all go out and take the ice to warm up. And she's like, "Amanda, come here." And I sheepishly skate over to her. And she very kindly broke down everything she was saying, exactly where I was supposed to be. You see, I needed that. I needed that breakdown. And I would say to you, you probably do too. Don't do this alone. It is so much easier to learn from other people. I will share with you an offer that I have for you today. I would love for you, if you're ready to finish strong, I will tell you whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. But I don't want you to do it alone. Would you like some help? For those of you that aren't already in the Mob Bosses, you can upgrade to our Mob Bosses community for only $37 a month or $222 a year. I will tell you that price is going up in 2025, as it should. What are you going to get when you upgrade? You'll get access to the full marketing masterclass, which walks you through everything you need to do, from starting your business to building your offer to actually going out there and getting sales. We walk you through step by step. Second, we have daily coaching calls where you can come in Monday through Friday and just ask the questions. You want to know if your website looks okay, or you need copy changes, or even what emails you should send, whatever your questions are, or it might be strategy questions. My goal is to be there to get your questions answered. I do not want you to do this alone. You also get access to our toolkit. It's an all-in-one marketing software. It actually has everything you need to market your business. It is built on the Go High Level platform, if you're familiar with marketing software. And then we added our automations and landing pages and other things to it to help you get started. You can't get that software for less than $97 a month. In fact, if you look at one of the pinned comments that Lorna made in the free mob group, she said she was talking to somebody and they charge over $300 a month just for the software and the support to go with it. And I will tell you that is very standard. I purposely am pricing this low enough that anybody can do it because I want you to be successful. You also get access to my team. My team of people that can come in and help you grow your business. My team that work with clients and myself every single day. You see, to be successful, you're going to need three things. You're going to need the training. You're going to need to know exactly how to market your business to get sales. You're going to need the tech and the software to actually be able to create emails and landing pages and all the tech. But then you need support and accountability. That's what we've created with Mob Bosses. And for now, it is only $37 a month or $222 a year. And I do have a full money back guarantee on that. I'm going to drop the link to Mob Bosses if anybody's willing to join us. Whether you join us or not, I truly want to help you understand that the life you love is fueled by the business you build. I'm passionate about helping you build your business so you can get your dreams. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I will go ahead and check comments now. If you have any questions, any sort of feedback, let me know. But thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you make 2025 your best year ever.